Hey everybody, I figured I'd start recording because I'm in the middle of organizing some of my books and I have two piles on the floor here for library books that I got probably 8 months ago. I made a little wall on the side of my table because I figured I'd eventually get through them. I'm about to get another stack of these library books, so I need to get these on my list. I've also been doing a lot of rearranging. I got like 3 different rooms with shelves with books, but I just put things where I could put them after moving back in. And they weren't in the right place. And now I have a massive kink in my shoulder blade. Too much information because I've been at this for about 6 hours. But I need to get these off the floor because I gotta make room. So I figured I'd turn this camera on because I don't know what a lot of these books are because they're from the library. They were picked up by someone. I can highlight them here, and if people know anything more about them, then that's why I'm gonna record this. Because I don't know what I should be chasing down if these are part of series, you know what I mean? That's why I gotta get them in my spreadsheet. So when I'm in the thrift shops, I just scroll my spreadsheet and I find out what I need. First one up on the stack here is the smallest of the books. I guess I got 2 of these smallish books. I got Finches of Mars by Brian W. Aldiss, a new novel from the Grand Master of Science Fiction. So we got a science fiction book here. Also, there's the sticker right here, so I can't even see what the synopsis is. It's got some wear and tear on it. And it's the library thing. I don't know how to really remove these without damaging the book, and that's okay. These are all they were free. So there's no better price than free. Anyways, that's the first one, Finches of Mars. If anyone knows about it, anything more about it, it's science fiction. So let me know. Next small book on this stack here is The Last SARS Dragons. The cover's cool. It's a nice, cool design. Too bad all those stickers and stuff are all over the place. And it feels cool. It's Jane Yolen and Adam Stempel. Anyone familiar with this one? Last SARS Dragons. It's actually kind of hard to say, to be honest. 3 lines I can read. It says, "It's the waning days of the Russian monarchy. A reckless man rules the land and his dragons rule the sky." It sounds kind of nice. Probably going to read this one soon. This actually, it's the first time I'm reading the back of the books and even looking into them, but I feel like this is probably going to go onto a TBR because it sounds kind of cool. I can't read any more of the synopsis, but that's okay. We're going to move on. I've got this one. I got Raymond E. Feist, King of Ashes. Anyone familiar with this one right here? It does look like it's part of a set here because it says book 1 of the Fire Main Saga. I've been to thrift shops so often now that certain names are always popping up, and I know some of those names are in the stack, which is why if I'm going to go back to these thrift shops, I've got gaps in these collections, I might as well start picking some of these up. We'll get there. I'm already derailing. I can read 2 of the lines, or at least the first sentence here. It says, "For centuries, the 5 greatest kingdoms of North and South Tembria have coexisted in peace, but the balance of power is destroyed," and then I can't see anymore because the sticker is there. Anyways, this is a bunch of books that they're getting rid of at the library. They purge twice a year, basically every second season, it seems like. At the end of fall and at the end of spring, they purge. Anyways, Raymond Feist. I don't think I've seen that name. I'm getting a lot of glare. Oh, it's because my spreadsheet is up. Anyways, let me actually shut this screen down unless I'm writing in it. There we go. Less glare. So, King of Ashes. Cool. 3rd book. Let's pick another one up. It's going to be a hardcover here. We got Tessa Grayton, The Queens of Innis Lear. That's actually a character from King Lear. I studied it, but it would have been 25, 30 years ago. I adore this rich, epic, blood-soaked, glorious, and grand sweeping fantasy. Prepare to devour every word, for Innis Lear will consume you. Tessa Grayton. Well, it doesn't look like it's part of a set, and it does look like it's maybe a retelling of King Lear. 3 daughters, 1 crown, all-out war. Neat. Curious. That's a nice design. Got that old-timey feel. Anyways, don't know anything about it. I can go to Goodreads and maybe get some more context. If anyone knows about the Queens of Innis Lear, let me know. Let's get the next one off the stack here. I got one called A Novel, Soot, by Dan Yeletta, author of Smoke. That feels like it's part of a set. I can read part of the first sentence. The year is 1909. Ooh, cool. Little time period thing. Piece. Okay, 2 sentences. That one was short. It has been 10 years since Thomas Argyle, Charlie Cooper, and Livia Naylor set off, and I can't see anymore because it's sticker. Oh, it's a large print edition. Now, I have seen books at the thrift shop with this thing on it. It's not really a sticker. It's part of the cover, but I've seen these editions for Michael Crichton's books, pretty sure. And I was going to get them, but then I was like, no, I'll just get the other ones. But anyways, it is pretty big font. Maybe for not exactly YA reader, unless this is YA. I'm not sure anything about this. Larger print, I don't know. Accessibility reasons? Not sure. All these people seek to discover the true nature of smoke and thereby control its power. As their destinies entwine, a cataclysmic confrontation looms, and the smoke will either bind them or rend the world. I wonder if this is part of a set. The pages feel as thin as like Bible pages. They're like really, really thin. Anyways, I don't see a list of like other books printed, so I'm not sure if it is, but Smoke and Soot, they sound alike. Then Yoletta. Let's take another book off the stack here. We got a Terry Brooks, The Defenders of Shannara, The High Druid's Blade. So this is where I think I might have started getting these Terry Brooks books before I started hunting more down in the thrift shops. So that's the list of books. There are a lot of them, but I feel like I got all of them except the first book because I specifically want the first printing hardcover of that first book because I found book 2 and 3. Book 1 was very damaged, and so I left it behind, and I maybe regret it because it's not very common. I'll find the mass market paperback for the first book of the Sword of Shannara. I found the mass market paperback of the King of Shannara, but that was a book that was printed way later. It is a prequel. It's like number 0 of the set, but I refuse. I will get it in hardcover. I think I found it once in hardcover, but again, it was too damaged. I didn't bother. Anyways, so we have Terry Brooks, The Defenders of Shannara. We got the High Druids. So High Druid's Blade, and I got the Darkling Child as well for this one. And I believe these are 3 books. They are. And I got the Sorcerer's Daughter. I got this jacket on, the library jacket thing, right? That you can like peel off. And actually, it just dawned on me. Huh, cool. So if I peel this plastic off, this is actually on the plastic. So I actually have a brand new book. Brand spanking new book. I mean, these are library books, but the conditions of them are all really good. I mean, they got that stamp on it. You can probably sand most of that off. And you got this thing on the front page, of course, right? Which is kind of can't do anything about it. Oh, it's got the toothy edges. I love it. So another Shannara book. That's why I want to get these off my floor, because now I want to put them on a shelf and actually see the continuity of all of the books that I have of the Shannara series. Next book. We have Agency, William Gibson. There was one of 2 courses I could take in university for science fiction. One term and then the second term. I didn't get into the one term. That had Neuromancer on their list. I ended up getting in the second term. They were all also really good books. I think the one that I had that they didn't was Blade Runner one, right? To do Android's Dream of Electric Sheep. So can't go wrong with that. I really enjoyed that novel. Anyways, Count Zero, Burning Chrome, Mona Lisa, Overdrive. I'm not familiar with any other book here. Hey, The Peripheral. Is The Peripheral, because there's a show called The Peripheral. I'm pretty sure I reacted to the episode 1 ages ago. Now, is that based on the same thing as a William Gibson story? That'd be cool. I kind of enjoyed episode 1. Anyways, William Gibson. I mean, can't go wrong, right? Or maybe you can, because I've never heard of that book. I've only heard of Neuromancer. We have an Isaac Marion, The Burning World, a Warm Bodies novel. So, a Warm Bodies novel, is this a detective fiction? I'm not sure. Crime? I don't know. Let's see if I can read anything on the back. I have a quote back here. Marion's novels is even better than the movie. This movie? I've never heard of the movie. Digging deep into sardonic observations about humanity, comic takes on zombie behavior, okay, and stirring reflections on what it really means to be alive or dead. Okay, I was going somewhere else with the Warm Bodies novel, thinking it was a crime thing, or maybe it still is, but it involves zombies, question mark? I'm not sure. R is recovering from death. Okay, that's the first sentence. He's learning how to read, how to speak, maybe even how to love. He can almost imagine a future with Julie, the girl who restarted his heart, building a new world from the ashes of the old one. Okay, a zombie love story? I'm just speculating all over the place. Anyone know about The Burning World? There we go. Let me know. Next, I have a Nora Roberts. Now, this is a name that is all over the place in the thrift shops. But the reason why I haven't really dug into whether or not to collect Nora Roberts is because I would say half of them are in the romance section, and that throws me off. I'm not sure if this author just spans a couple different genres. This one feels like it's fantasy. Of Blood and Bone. It's a cool cover. Of Blood and Bone. Nice inside flap there with some stamps from the library all over the place. That's nice. I mean, this is why I can't be collecting authors that have this many publications. Ian Rankin is where I'm going to stop right now. That was a journey. If this is part of a trilogy, like this page right here, I have to get the set, at the very least. And it says book 2. Chronicles of the One. Book 2. Uh-oh. Oh, I got another Nora Roberts. Okay, hold on. Is this book 1? I got Nora Roberts' The Becoming. The Dragonheart Legacy, book 2. Great. We got another second book. So The Becoming, I mean, it's dragons, right? I at least I'm assuming there is because of the dragon on the cover. So I might have to hunt down at least 2 of these trilogies. This is why I got my spreadsheet up, and I will work on it. So let's keep going. We got The Blood and the Bone. We got The Becoming. I believe I at least organized my piles by author so that we could stay consistent, you know? And if I'm not picking up another Nora Roberts, that means she's done for. So we got David Weber. I've definitely seen this name before. We got The Gordian Protocol. Time is a Harsh Mistress. And then I got a Jacob Halo down there. I don't know, there's the 2 authors? I'm not sure. Can I see? Maybe, yeah, because it's on the spine there. Okay, so it's a co-written series. I don't know if it's part of a multiple book collection. Let's flip to the list of books. Again, lots of books. This page. Lots of books by David I mean, he's all over the place. And, I'm trying to remember where I saw it. Maybe in the spy and crime fiction? Does that sound familiar? The Gordian Protocol. Where would you be? Are you part of a series? It's the first book of, I guess it's solo, because it's on the list down here. So, I don't think that's a set. I think there's just standalones. Thank God. Good. It's a book I can read whenever. A cool shiny cover there. Like, wee. Very shiny. Let's see if I can read the first sentence or 2. A man of 2 worlds. History professor Benjamin Schroeder lives... Schroeder's cat, maybe? I don't know. A happy life. He has a job. He lives in a profession he adores. Then everything changes. A student's dissertation on Operation Oz, the Pacific Allies' invasion of Vladivostok, staged through occupied Japan to meet their Imperial German allies, sets off a psychedelic episode in Schroeder. It has to be psychedelic, right? The time has come to choose. I'm not sure. Then there's 2 other paragraphs. We won't keep reading. I'll just leave it at that. Anyways, if anyone's familiar with not just this book, but David Weber, and whether or not I should be hunting down some more David Weber books, feels like it'd be a massive journey as well, just like Ian Rankin, though. Oh, that's a chunky one. Another David Weber one. Hell's Foundation Quiver, right there. So, this looks like science fiction. Oh, wait. It's like a ship shooting a Corsair ship? Like a ship? Fantasy and sci-fi collide, turning the tide. Centuries ago, the human race fought its own great war against an alien race and lost. A tiny population of humans fled to distant safeholds. Centuries later, their descendants have forgotten their history. For them, life has been an eternal Middle Ages, ruled by the Church of God awaiting, whose secret purpose is to keep the remainder of humanity hidden from its conquerors by preventing the reemergence of industrial civilization. Chunky. This is a big one. And I'm looking at a cover down there. That looks like it's part of a series because we got At the Sign of Triumph. They are definitely cool looking covers. I'm not sure if these are good books or not, but again, chunky. Good quality though. Outside of, again, the stickers and stuff, can't do anything about that. But chunky and cool. Let's flip through this one and see if this is part of a list. We have the Safehold series. Does that sound familiar? Yes, a novel in the best-selling Safehold series, and this is a new novel in the New York Times best-selling Safehold series. All right, so let's take a look. We have, oh my God, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, maybe 12, because it's off on its own line there. All right, well, it looks like I have a series to collect. That's okay, because his name does pop up a lot, and I feel pretty confident that I can eventually work through this one. So Hell's Foundation looks like book 10. The Sign of Triumph is book 11. So I got 10 and 11. Bam. 10 and 11. And do I see another book? Yes, I do. We have Through Fiery Trails. Bam, bam, bam. Safehold series. And book 12. So I got 10, 11, and 12 of this series. I'm going to have to hunt down. I'm going to have to hunt down 9 books. I am done. Am I done the first pile? I am done the first pile. How long have I worked? I've got 20 minutes. Should I just do all of the books? Maybe I will. Let's do this. Let's ramp through it. I got to go a little further. I'll be right back. Okay, let's take these ones. Let's go through them. We got Or What You Will by Joe Walton. Anyone familiar with this one? Joe Walton. Joe Walton. A praise for Joe Walton. I just want a bit of a synopsis here. He has been too many things to count. He has been a dragon with a what? He has been a dragon with a boy on his back. He has been a scholar, a warrior, a lover, and a thief. He has been dream and dreamer. He has been a god, but he, in quotation marks, is in fact nothing more than a spark of idea. A character in the mind of Sylvia Harrison. I see what you did there. Should I keep reading? Is it imagination? Because there's a book on the cover, so probably characters in a book. I'm now speculating well beyond, because we're going to move on. But there you go. Joe Walton. Familiar with that author? I don't think I've ever seen that name at the thrift shops. Yeah, I can't say I have, but I haven't specifically looked. Like, the covers have to stand out to me, right? And then I sort of hone in on the author's name sometimes, because the book's cover does appeal to me. Or if I see like 10 of the author in one go, then I'm like, okay, it's a prolific author. So I feel like if I ever get into the author, I'd be able to find more. But when they only have a couple prints, the names aren't going to stand out to me, right? Same thing with Timothy Zahn. We got Night, a chronicle of the Sibyl's War. So we got this one here. Looks like a sci-fi. I mean, the cover looks cool. It's an alien-looking ship. Nicole Hammond was just trying to survive on the streets of Philadelphia when she and her partner, Bungie, were abducted by a race of mysterious moth-like aliens and taken to a strange ship called the Farantha. Wow. How am I not familiar with this name? Timothy Zahn. And he's got this many books? That's crazy. The Dragonback series, the Quadrail series, Star Wars novels, okay. Cobra War series, Sibyl's War, only got 2 books. Anyways, there you go. Should be looking up more Timothy Zahn. Let me know if you're familiar with the name. We got John Scalzi, Head On, a novel of the near future. Head On. Pretty simple minimalist cover design here. I feel like, yeah, this one has 2 novels, it looks like, right here. Oh, there you go. Because I have Lock In, which is this the one on the back cover? It is. John Scalzi, Lock In as well. Anyone familiar with these books? It looks like that's it. It's part of the duo. Is it a duology? Let's flip a Rooney. Let's see what else we have here. Other books by John Scalzi. So I can't say I'm familiar with the name, but there's like 13 books here. But see, Lock In is in this list with 7 at the top. So are they part of the same series? It just says other tour books by. So no, I think they probably stand alone. But then Head On is not on this list. It's throwing me off. Is it on this list? It is not. Okay, this smaller list, maybe a different list, to be honest. Anyways, there you go. 2 more books. John Scalzi. Cool. Let's go get some more. Oh boy, these are heavy. They're all pretty much hardcover, which is crazy. The quality is good. Oh, did I get this at the thrift shop and I just put it on this pile for some reason? I say this because there's no library sticker on them. I might have forgotten to talk about this one. Anyways, Margaret Atwood, The Testaments. I think I forgot to talk about this one on some pickup. Well, there you go. It was in great condition. It's a Margaret Atwood book. And so I figured, you know what? Yeah, but there's like no thrift shop sticker on it either. Maybe it was one of those plastic thingamajigs and it got ripped off and then was given to me. Yeah, I'm going to just say that's what it is. But I have seen this book at the thrift shop a couple times. The Testaments. It's a brand new book. Crazy times. Margaret Atwood. I remember reading some of Margaret Atwood back in, again, studies. It was short stories, though, I think is what I recall reading, and I recall none of it. Because she's so prolific, you know. It might have been some poetry I might have read. I'm looking at a list now. Let's see. Shorter fiction. Dancing Girls, Murder in the Dark. Anyways, we're not going to get caught up in that because there's a lot to get through, and now I'm in my Star Wars stack. We got Fate of the Jedi, Outcast, Aaron Ralston. I don't know where these fit in. This is why I got to stick them on the list. Now, I don't generally see Star Wars books at the thrift shops. Maybe the paperback edition, the mass market paperback, I have here and there, but not the hardcovers. So I don't know where they fall, but I believe I put these in order when I stacked them. I did kind of look up a massive list, and it was a massive list. So anyways, I'm going to go through these relatively quick. We got The Outcast. We got Star Wars Last Shot by Danielle Jose Older. That sound familiar? Last Shot. I mean, Han Solo, possibly. I'm not sure. If some of these are standalone, that'd be great. I wouldn't mind reading. Yeah, it says Han Solo threw open the door, a huge smile breaking out across his face. Of course it is. I wouldn't mind reading some Star Wars books if they're standalone, or if I have a full set. Right, this is what I'm kind of looking into. Also, Rogue One. I absolutely love this movie. I've never been a huge fan of Star Wars. I know, crazy. I grew up with it. I mean, it's in my generation. But in my generation, I love the Droids cartoon of the '80s. I forget what that one was called. Not like the Clone Wars, like the Droids. I think it was called the Droids, and it was silly. It was silly, and I don't remember a damn thing about that cartoon, but it was something I would watch. And of course, I know the trilogy, etc., etc., etc. But I never became a huge fanboy of Star Wars. But I studied the novelization of the first movie in my fantasy course. I wrote an essay on it, and I got like an A+ on the whole thing, because that's where it really got me going into like appreciating novelizations that took storytelling into consideration, which, you know, the movie was written based on the hero's journey, so it's like that wasn't hard to do. But there was like a couple nuances with like things like the way they wrote R2D2 and C3PO. They wrote the words out instead of using the letters, and so it personified them more in the novelization. Because then when you get to Obi-Wan, you know, you read the name and it's not a droid, but it's an O. You know, but you can also, but phonetically it's an OB1, and there's little things like that, right? Darth Vader is Dark Father, and then little things like that become more. I don't know. They became more obvious to me as I was reading it from the lens of someone doing critical analysis on fantasy literature and storytelling. So I thought that was amusing. So I wouldn't mind reading some more to see if other authors have done that over time. Like, these are relatively new-ish books. I say new, like 20 years. The last 20 years never happened. We got Star Wars Phasma, because like the characters are from the new trilogy, etc., right? So I don't know, Phasma's perspective during the new trilogy, possibly. I'm not sure. I didn't say the author of Rogue One. The novelization is James Luceno. We got Phasma's Delilah S. Dawson for Phasma, the author. We got Star Wars The Force Awakens, Alan Dean Foster, novelization of The Force Awakens. Curious indeed. And that's it for the Star Wars novels at this point. We're going to other ones. We got Stan Lee, A Trick of Light. Didn't even know he had a novel. There you go. So, Trick of Light, I don't know. Oh, it's Stan Lee and Kat Rosenfield. So probably Stan Lee's idea, and then Kat Rosenfield wrote it out. Trick of the Light. I'm curious, of course. Let me just flip this open and see if there's more than a book. No, that's it. If it's a standalone one, it might end up on my TBR, because I am absolutely curious with what Stan Lee did before his passing. What is the year of publication on this thing? 2019. Pretty recent. Right before we got an R.A. Salvatore Timeless, a Drizzt novel. I remember reading the first trilogy of Drizzt 30-ish years ago. It's a long time ago. Funny enough, I just kind of saw it pop up on Dutch Greybeard's channel, because he's getting into the trilogy, and I did think it's amusing that these novels exist in a mainstream space, where, you know, when I read them, I'm thinking about the mechanics of the game system that these were written in during, right? So Advanced Dungeons and Dragons 2nd edition is what I had in my mind when I was reading the original trilogy. If these are newer tales of Drizzt, then I'm going to think about 3rd edition or 3.5 or 4 or whatever, right? I don't know when these take place, to be honest. But relatively, here, actually, let me see. There's a lot of Drizzt novels. I read the trilogy, and there was Malazabrizdan, is that how you pronounce the there's like another series that's about the Underdark city, something with the queen. It was 30 years ago, man. But 2018, this is relatively new. It's got the Wizards logo in it, so post 1999 puts us in for 3rd edition. It's not gonna be 3rd edition unless it's a reprint, so we're in the 4th edition, 5th edition territory, right? So at this point, it's like, because it's for a mainstream audience, I suspect they don't even really write things based on the rule set anymore. Like the big tell would be spells when magic was cast, or like how magic works because of the way the classes work, you know, that kind of stuff. If you're running a game or playing a game in Dungeons and Dragons, you're going to know what they're writing and how they're writing, the meta behind it, you know. But if you're not tied to tabletop, it just makes me curious to see how people read something like that, or like, do they just gloss over it, you know? Like the meta doesn't do anything. Like 2018 puts us in the 4th edition scenario, right? And it's like, that's when they leaned out a lot of the meta. And so is that what they did here? I'm not sure. Maybe they just go, screw the game systems, because people are reading this who aren't gamers. These sell, I think, like a lot. These are like best-selling novels. They're like over 1 million. I'm pretty sure. We got Boundless, a Drizzt novel. So I didn't check right now, but I'm going to check real quick. The Boundless, is this a standalone, or is this part of a set? The Crystal Shard, that's it, the 4th book. Streams of Silver, the Halfling Gem. Yeah, I think those ones. And then I own the Legacy Starless Night and Siege of Darkness. I had Legacy for maybe 20 years from a library haul from like 20, 25 years ago. And then Starless Night and Siege of Darkness I picked up at the thrift shop over the last couple of months. Man, there's a lot of books here. Holy smokes. Anyways, the Boundless. What the heck is this thing? I have no idea. The Timeless? Is Timeless in here? It is. It's the last book on this list. So it looks like these are very, very new. Very likely the newest of the Drizzt series, 2019. God damn. All right. I'm still going, man. Better not be a trilogy, though, because I don't have a third book. I've got Neil Stephenson, Fall. Another hefty, chunky sumbitch. So, holy smokes, my shoulder blade is killing me from moving so many books today. And lifting these is punishment right now, for sure. In his youth, Richard Dodge Forthrast founded Corporation 9592, a gaming company that made him a multi-billionaire. Now in his middle years, Dodge appreciates his comfortable, unencumbered life, managing his myriad business interests and spending time with his beloved niece Zula and her young daughter Sophie. That's a weird first paragraph. So I was like intrigued when it was like the whole gaming company. I'm like, where's this going? Is not the utopia it might seem. Wait, does he get digitized? In the coming years, technology allows Doge's brain to be turned back on. Oh, I see. You got to read the entire thing to really pick it up. Like what's going down. I'm reading it fast. So no one knows whether a simulated brain will be the same when it is rebooted or if something will be lost. The ineffable spirit that cannot be recreated in computer code. And okay, so it's like a transfer-ish kind of thing, or the identity. It's a novel about that could be cool. Like rebooting, maybe like a mirror copy of. I should have just read the whole thing instead of like speculating at this point. I just think the idea of it sounds like it's very prototypical. Like it could be explored in a very nice way. Oh, cool. There's maybe the gaming map of where his consciousness exists, or the copy of his consciousness. I think there's a potential good story in there somewhere. Anyways, cool. That is a beast, though. Oh my God! The last three. We got the Book of Swords by Gardner Dozois. There we go. Big ass sword on the cover. I cannot say I'm familiar, but I want to say I maybe am. I've seen covers with something like this on it, and where I'm not talking about Malice and the other ones, Gwyn. I know that I got the 4 of them at the thrift shop. They're all over YouTube. That's why I thank God they stood out to me, and I picked them up right away. But I saw another series that I believe had weapons on the side like this, and they were kind of hardcovers, but I don't remember it being Gardner Dozois. Anyways, the Book of Swords. Let me see if... What is this, an anthology? Featuring all new stories. It is an anthology, I guess. There's a bunch of names right here. So, and on the front cover, I don't know why I ignored that. My bad. Hyperfocus is a bitch. And it says, includes a new Game of Thrones story by George R. R. Martin. Oh, cool. Holy smokes. Co-edited with George R. R. Martin. Look at that. Cool. I've been looking for more anthologies to check out. Pages are nice, man. The book is pretty much new. It's crazy. It's crazy. Rip off this cover here. It's pretty new. It's just got the stamp on it, but who cares, man? And of course the sign out card or sticker, I guess. Doesn't matter. It's a really nice book. It's a short story compilation. I like it. And it's got George R. R. Martin in there, even though I've never read Game of Thrones. I'll get to it. This name I have seen, and I'm very curious about it because I kind of like the covers. Oh man, I feel like I just saw these like this week. Anyways, let's get to it. Dragons on it. The Walking Fire. And I got The Empire of Ashes by Anthony Ryan. Book 3 of the Dragon Memoria. And of course, this will be and book 1. So I don't have book 2. I don't have book 2. I need to find book 2 now. Anyways, so maybe, curious, I will pick these up because it looks like it's going to be potentially a close series. Let me check the books here. We got The Raven's Shadow novels, Bloodsong. I have definitely seen Bloodsong. Tower Lord, Queen of Fire. And then we got the Draconis Memoria, The Waking Fire. And then, what's the second book? Are there more than one? And then The Legion of Flame, Empire of Ashes. Looks like maybe a trilogy. So there you go. That's the last book of this massive library haul, and I'm going to be getting another stash. So we'll see if any of these gaps fill, or there's going to be a bunch of duplicates. That's the stack of the library books that I can finally put away. I'm going to rip off these plastic things. Should I? Or should I keep them to protect them? I don't know. I like protecting my books, but at the same time, I don't know, I'd like to get this removed off the shelf, you know, so when they're in the bookshelf things, you know, I don't want to see a bunch of yellow things like I've stolen a bunch of books. I did not steal these. They're on sale. I just thankfully know someone at the library who gets them for the sale price of free. I'm going to have to do Google searches on each of these authors now and collections and whatnot and get them into my spreadsheet. I thought I was going to do that while recording, but I wanted to at least try to keep this reasonably short, although I'm almost at the 40-minute mark. I'll probably cut this down for all of you. But yeah, if you're familiar with any of these authors or book series and maybe other books that I should be looking into of these authors, I can add them to the list. I'll try to hunt some of these down at the thrift shops next time I'm in. 3 of these names stand out to me, but not the other ones. So it's Nora Roberts, David Weber, and Anthony Ryan have definitely popped up. Maybe there's another one in here that sounds familiar to me, but I can't remember off the top of my head. And thank you for spending time with me along the way. And if you know anything, like I said, leave it in the comments below and guide me a little bit, or just tell me some of these authors don't do it. don't go down the rabbit hole, and maybe don't even bother reading it. I don't know. I wanted this video to be double the length. I could have done a Goodreads check on some of these authors and books along the way, but that's going to be the mystery of it all. I just like the complete sets, because if I read one book and I know there are 3, even if I'm not all the way there, I want to read the 3 because there'll be a story arc there that I want to experience, you know, for completionist's sake. So this is where the rabbit hole begins. I'll do the trilogy, but if they have 40 books, I do not want to jump down that rabbit hole again, unless I like the trilogy. If I like the author, then I'll hunt down more of the author, you know what I mean? Anyways, I'm rambling at this point at the end of the video. Thanks for spending your time with me as I organize through these books, and I'll catch you in the next video. Don't forget to explore, engage, and inspire, buddy. Peace.